One Mic podcast called J-Rob Brooklyn Dre. J-Rob is in the building. How y'all doing, fellas?
What up?
What's good?
Yo, good to be back. That's what it is, man. All right,
Absolutely.
y'all. We're going to discuss this Kyrie Irving trade and give our thoughts on the Kyrie Nichols execution. But it's been a while, fellas. So we got a lot of catching up to do. What y'all been up to? Everything's good?
Everything definitely good.
Tough beginning this year, man, but
yeah,
we good.
Definitely was a tough one, man. But, God is good. We missed a lot of stories, guys. I'm not going to lie, but we walked into a good one. This, Kyrie Irving situation that broke yesterday.
Right.
On Sunday as the time of this recording, that he was traded, finally granted the wish. He was traded.
He asked for a trade. He forced their hand.
Yeah. So naturally, had to get you fellas on here to discuss this situation. A lot of opinions being floated around about this. You got, all our pundits and commentators and everybody on it. But of course, I got to go to my brothers for this situation. All right. So
right.
I'm going to ask J-Rob to touch it first.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, J-Rob, get some,
first,
get some,
and then I'll give you my comments.
All right. Before we get into it though, we gotta put on our, ESPN hats for a second. Give the people some context, Jay, on the situation.
All right. Kyrie Irving, point guard for the Nets, got traded yesterday to the Dallas Mavericks. He actually wanted to go to LA, play with Bron, but they traded him to the Bible Belt. That's kind of ironic in my opinion, if we're going to go get right into it.
I think they did him dirty purposely, man.
Yeah, exactly. See, now that's the thing though, right? That's the thing. When you enter into a contract with these teams, you expect everything to be handled ethically. Now, when they don't handle their side ethically, what makes you have to still be ethical? I
think Kyrie did the right thing for Kyrie. He did the right thing in the sense that this is the perfect time for him to use his leverage in order to get out of there, get that max contract.
This is my thing. First of all,
it wasn't going to pay
anybody playing, any professional sports player playing in New York or New Jersey is getting robbed by taxes. Nobody shouldn't. If it was me, I wouldn't want to play there. You lose most of your money.
That might be true.
That's facts.
But I think also too, I think the difference in New York is that they get hit with taxes, but also in New York too is that a player in New York actually gets more money than most players because of the fact that he has more access to things. Like your brand in New York is always going to be bigger than anywhere else. So yeah, you're going to be taxed.
That's not true no more, bro. Like this is not 1987 or even 1995. They got social media. They can get these contracts everywhere.
No, I mean in the sense of sales and paraphernalia. I mean,
even still, nobody goes to the store and shop no more. Everything is online, so you can still be that big star anywhere.
You
don't have to be in New York no more.
Yeah, no.
Same thing with the rap industry.
No, I disagree because I think Kevin Garnett was talking about that the other night. He was talking about how when he went to Boston, although it was a different time. He was saying it was better for him to jump on Boston a lot earlier, and I think and I know that was a different time. But I'm going to say this is that it's a difference from, I don't know how many other people living in New York buying a jersey than you living in Oklahoma City and 9 million people buying a jersey. So, I mean, even though they're buying online and everything is accessible, it still is going to be a situation where there's more fans in New York than there is in certain places.
Y'all are native New Yorkers. And I know, but this is important, right? They take 51%. Right? Ain't that what they take? Yeah, so you get a contract. You think you hitting the bank $200 million. Before you even see your bread, you down to 90 or 95.
I think it's kind of like how in rap music where they talk about the 360 deal. The 360 deal is a terrible deal if you ain't making no money. But the 360 deal ain't that bad of a deal if you selling multi records. You know what I mean?
No, it's still a bad deal if you losing more than half of your money in taxes. That's ridiculous.
But it's almost like if I'm getting promoted more and I'm getting an opportunity for more. I'm not saying that you're not going. Everybody in the deal is going to get is going to get. I hate to use the word, but it's going to get raped pretty much. Everybody, any type of music deal or any type of deal where you're working for somebody and they're giving you a large sum of money, they're getting more back than what you're getting.
Just that brings me back to Kyrie Irving. They took Kyrie's sneaker contract. They suspended him. All that. Had him apologize, shucking and jiving, want him to bow and scrape. And then he did all that. He acclimated to everything the team asked from him with that situation, and they still railroad him.
All right, front page of the sports section of the Daily News, New York Daily News, states that he's your headache now, as referring to the trades for the
look at the narrative.
But
he's your headache now. But the reason why I'm asking that is because you brought up an interesting point. Do you think that a lot of Kyrie's off the court, I don't want to call them antics, but causes and things that he stood up for, or if you whatever it is that it was, do you think that those were some of the deciding factors to say, all right, let's just go ahead and sever ties with him?
Absolutely, and not only are we going to sever ties with him, we're gonna stick it to him on the way out.
But I mean, you got to look at his antics over there. I mean, just look at Kyrie for over time.
What antics, bro? What antics?
Kyrie got paid for 4 years of basketball. He really only played 2.5 years worth. But
let me ask you a question. If he was light skinned like Ben Simmons, who ain't played a full year and I don't know how long, would it be this same outcry?
I think Ben Simmons gonna get the same deal sooner or later, either or too. I don't think he's gonna ride much longer with his situation. I think black is black. Me personally, and I go along. I think the only time light skinned black and black plays a big heavy deal is when it comes to a situation between black people. I think in this day and age, I think black is black. I will say this. In the past, I believe that, it was more easier for a light-skinned brother to get a job and all that other stuff. Honestly speaking, I don't think it matters no more either way. I mean, my personal opinion. My personal opinion.
Just the outside.
I could be wrong.
For Ben Simmons, he didn't have Hebrew Israelites around him.
Hey, but with the Hebrewites around him, Kyrie still came out there and did his job.
That's the whole point, though.
Ben Simmons running around right now talking about his booty hole hurt or something. I don't know. He's not playing no more.
But that's the whole point with Kyrie. That's what I guess. Listen, man. I'm an objective person, man. I'm gonna try to, because I'm a Knick fan. I'm a New York fan. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. The world is flat. Still spraying
he's like sage and all type of stuff, like he's burning sage on the court and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
so what?
Him and James Harden don't like each other. Him and Kevin Durant and James Harden has arguably messed up the best situation that has ever happened in the NBA. In the NBA, there's never been, I would say, at least the top 5 players. 3 of them is on the same team. Out of all 3 of them, they haven't accomplished. I don't think they won one playoff series yet. They might have won one.
They won one, but being from Philadelphia and being a Philadelphia fan, I'm glad they messed that up. That wasn't right. We ain't need that in the NBA.
Yo, listen, you know me, I don't like the
yeah, we ain't need that.
But it finally happened in New York, right? And I'm sitting there watching some of this stuff, man. I think when you say he lost his Nike deal or whatever the case may be, I think you gotta, again, man, whatever leg you stand on, if you want to be Ali, then you gotta be able to. You got to be in a situation where if you got to lose a couple of dollars, then that's what you take on your team.
No.
If you want to be
bro,
Ali,
come on, bro. Wait. Let me say something. Wait. I don't even know. I don't even know what the dude's name is, but he used to be Bruce Jenner. He got on TV talking about he identifies as a woman now, and they made him Man of the Year. He's so courageous for standing up for what he believes in. Come on.
You disrespect them Jews, though.
Come on, bro. Don't do that. If we gonna have a conversation, let's have a real conversation.
No, hold on. Listen what I'm saying to you, man. I think what Kyrie actually was trying to point to was right when he says, that we are, the original Hebrew. I think all people come from Africa, so I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
But that's his religious beliefs. He has every right to believe what he wants.
Yeah, but also too, man, you had a job. We all got a job.
How was that job? His beliefs never stopped his performance at his job. It hasn't. Even the fact that he fasts for Ramadan during the playoffs, he still goes out there and performs.
Well, I think the issue again is not really the fact that he believed that Jews are black people are the original man or whatever we want to say. I think his problem is the DVD. The DVD was not factual.
He didn't create it.
No, I'm saying it, but again, when you say that they took away his contract. Put it like this. Give you an example. Nike, right? Nike backed Kaepernick after he kneeled and he was out of the NFL and gave him a boatload of money to back Kaepernick.
They should have.
But I'm saying they did it. They didn't have to do it, but they did it. So it doesn't say like the whole organization is racist or anything like that. It's just that they couldn't ride with what he was riding with. You know what I mean? And Nike's done some things where it's like it's certain things that they've took on that was against the grain. Matter of fact, Nike took a big hit when they gave Kaepernick that money. You know what I mean? So, it ain't like he's dealing with like this crazy Republican organization. He's dealing with something that actually is pretty kind of liberal.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
They can't be that liberal if he actually shared a movie that's on a streaming platform and they suspended him because of that.
Listen, man, at the end
he didn't make no statements like, "Yo, go see this. This is it. They got all the truth in the world." He didn't do none of that. He just reposted it.
I forgot how he addressed it, but I think he did address it in co-signing. I could be wrong, but I thought he addressed
said,
it
during a press conference that he said when they say your movie, they kept referring to it as your movie, and he said, "I didn't make the movie."
Exactly.
But what happens is that when he put it on that Twitter feed and all, it's almost like you're promoting it. You don't have to make it, but when you promoting it, it's almost like saying you in agreement with it.
When Tom Brady had the Trump hat in his locker, nobody said nothing.
No, they didn't.
No suspension, no nothing.
But again, I think the thing of it is that I think they're looking at it at a sense that, and again, ain't no Trump fan either, but I think they're looking at it since
I actually am. But that's a whole other topic.
But that's the thing.
Man,
that's a perfect example. It's like I think what happens is it's a perfect example is that technically speaking, even though I don't like the dude, I mean he still has like a kind of like a legitimate political stand. You know what I mean? Like I think when we're looking at Kyrie, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I ain't Jewish, but I'm not obviously a Hasidic Jew or whatever the case may be. But I would say this is that I looked at that documentary. I thought it was stupid. I thought it didn't make no sense. I thought for an educated person to promote that was like, to me personally, it just didn't make no sense. That's me personally. But, just speaking on Kyrie, man, listen, man, I want you to fight the right fight. If you're fighting the right fight, I'm behind you, man. You know what I mean? If you want to be Ali, you got to take whatever comes on with being with Ali. We in America. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it is.
But that's the thing. That's us saying we just gonna roll with the punches because we know it's not right. But this is what we've been getting all along, so we comfortable with it. And that's not. We got to stop having that attitude. We're actually watching them tear down one of the best NBA players in the league because of their own because of his personal beliefs.
But I think you don't think he's responsible for some of it?
No, he didn't do anything to anybody.
But he put out. I mean, I put it like this, man.
I could see if he made the documentary. He didn't make it.
Yeah, but if you got a brand, if you have a brand, Kyrie is not like us. You know what I mean? He's like he has a brand. So how
come the same rules don't apply for the other man?
Well, you just made a statement in the sense that you was talking about Tom Brady. I don't think that's the same thing with him and Tom Brady. I think it's two different issues. Tom Brady's back.
Why not?
Well, I think you said you like Trump, so it's a legitimate thing to say it's a political party that actually likes him. I think with Kyrie Irving's situation, I believe, honestly speaking, nobody really rides with that Hebrew Israelite stuff, man. There's a very small portion
that can't be true. They surrounded the Barclays.
No, when I say that, I mean in the sense that there's a very small group of people that run with that ideology. Just because they put 200 people around the Barclays Center don't mean that, it's a large Hebrew Israelite crew. You know what I mean? I think it's just like they just had, put it like this, if it's just like, I'm trying to think of a very small group, like the Ku Klux Klan, the Hebrew Israelites, the what do you call it, the 5% nation. I'm just thinking about a lot of what we call the extremist groups. I mean, when you put all of them together in one city, it looks like a big thing, but in reality, the people probably ain't got the numbers that they really want. You know what I mean? We've been in the city. We know there ain't too many people standing in front of the Hebrew Israelites on a daily basis. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. But again, I think he was right to make the move when he made the move because again he got the leverage and everything like that. But on the other side of it, I'm a all New York sports fan, man. And
I understand that you're disappointed because now it's just Ben Simmons over there for Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant might be leaving soon.
Yeah,
I understand.
You know what? And that's what I was going to ask next. Is like, where do we go from here, man? Because
I'm telling you, bro.
Too good after this.
I'm not sure if y'all seen the video where Kyrie passed the ball to Ben Simmons and he could have dunked it, and he even hollered, "Shoot the ball, Ben!" And Ben looked around and passed it away.
Yeah, Ben's a chump, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a chump.
So how come nobody never says the narrative is never, oh, Ben Simmons is a problem. He's your problem now. He'll never want to pay. He'll never want to play. He's stealing money.
Actually, right now. I mean, y'all definitely Philly gave him a problem, so let's understand that.
After a while, even when he was in Philly, they was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Even in New York right now, well, I think they was giving him the benefit of the doubt because he started off somewhat decent.
He plays such great defense.
I think his first couple of years he started off on somewhat decent, so I think I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. But even in Brooklyn now, he's getting it. He is getting it right now. But let's understand this with Kyrie too, man. Kyrie does have a history, man. I mean, we're talking about the Cavs. We're talking about the Cavs. He couldn't get along with LeBron.
He won a championship.
He went to Boston.
But you know what, and that makes a good segue into the next point, because none of this will be complete unless we hear what J. Rouse man Stephen A. Smith has to say about this. Because we know that Jay is so excited whenever we play a Stephen A. clip.
Oh, man.
Yeah, folks, he supports this man 120%.
Cooling and buffooning.
Big fan, Stephen A. But for real, he actually talked about the situation, about the distractions and all, on First Take. So I'm going to play a little clip of that, and then y'all just give me your thoughts on it, all right?
Okay. We all know. This is not a conversation about Kyrie Irving, the basketball player. We know he's spectacular. He's a superstar. Two categories for me. There's a superstar player and there's a superstar. Tim Duncan was a superstar player. He's going to go out there. He's going to be Mr. Fundamental. He's going to kick you behind. He's going to win championships. He's that. Kyrie Irving's a superstar because he's box office. Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Steph Curry. Kyrie's one of those dudes you walk through the turnstiles to see perform because that is how spectacular he is. We're not questioning his skills. This is not about basketball. Nobody's going to get, not that you guys are trying, but nobody's going to get slick here when it comes to the Kyrie Irving subject. Kyrie Irving is a superstar basketball player. We're also not going to get into his character as a man. This man is NBA players during the pandemic. He's his foundation, provided water for over 1,000 citizens in Pakistan. You've got stuff where he's donating meals and all. This dude's heart is in the right place. He is not a bad person. He's a good dude, okay? We're not saying anything bad about him. Here's the problem with Kyrie Irving. You're going to show up to work because there's always something that distracts him from showing up to work consistently. That is the issue with the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets is not about, what headlines you create. Please, you can deal with all of that. It's Brooklyn, New York. It's not about the headlines. It's about the fact that you never knew when those headlines would lead to him being off from work.
What y'all thinking about that, man, this year?
House nigga being a house nigga.
Listen, man, I don't agree with Stephen A. a lot, man. But the dude don't come to work, man. The dude don't come to work. Listen, man.
Are we seriously sitting here talking about Kyrie Irving not coming to work?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something funny, right? It was like a couple of years around the pandemic where the dude just took off 2 weeks or something, like 3 weeks. And they was like, they didn't know what was wrong with him. He needed some personal time or whatever like that. And then he messed up because during that time, he went to his sister's birthday party and violated the COVID rules. So they had to leave him out for another couple of weeks or something like that, man. Son, I try to ride.
Let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. When the pandemic first hit, was you nervous?
Everybody was nervous. And here's what I say about that.
So Kyrie Irving does not have the right to be like, yo, you know what? I need some time to be with my folks. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, but that's
and also remember, these guys are 20, early 30s. They don't think the same way that we think as seasoned men.
Yeah, but here's the point. I don't have a problem with him and his whole COVID thing. If he decided he don't want to take the shot, I don't believe nobody should put nothing in their body that they don't want to put in their body. But also, in the same token, you still getting paid. You still getting paid to not play. He never, not once. I'm quite sure if he said, "Listen, I want to forfeit my check, and I just don't want to play during this whole time," I'm quite sure they probably might not have had a problem.
You know what's
but you're
crazy?
getting paid to play.
You know what's crazy? and this will probably take us into the other topic. I'm not sure if you want to go there yet, but when those officers be committing those horrendous brutalities against our people, they still get paid and a vacation.
I don't believe.
Well,
I don't believe in,
not
I don't
in this
believe
particular
in
case that we're about to talk about in a minute.
But why is that? Why is that?
We're going to discuss that in a second, but we're going to wrap this topic up first.
My whole point with that is that I don't believe that, but I don't also believe two wrongs make a right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe if you do something wrong or whatever the case may be, and you're violating your job or whatever the case may be.
What did he do wrong? He didn't do nothing wrong.
Listen, man, I'm just reading them off, man. First of all, we already know his history. What's his history, bro? His history, the most perfect place, the most perfect person in the NBA, man, that ever has walked the NBA, man, is LeBron James. I'm not a fan of, I don't think he's in my top 5, but he's one of my top 10 guys, right? You got a problem with LeBron. He had to get out of the Cavs because of LeBron.
Kobe, he wanted to be Kobe.
Yeah,
he thought he was doing what Kobe did with Shaq.
All right, we let that ride, right? He go to Boston, and Jalen and Tatum and them can't play with him. They get him out of there. They don't even like the dude. You know what I mean? Now he go to Brooklyn.
I could understand it being kind of difficult for a Browner brother in Boston. I understand that, especially one that's not, who's not capitulating to the ideas of that community.
He went to.
I'm sorry. Wait, before we get into part.
Capitulate.
He does this every time, folks. The brother said capitulated. During a sports argument.
It's a conspiracy, man.
I'm sorry. We got to give it up for that vocabulary. Every episode. Get your books out, y'all. Get your books out.
Then he goes to Brooklyn, and James Harden can't take it. James bounced, right? I'm going to tell you what's funny. I was riding against James Harden. I said, man, forget James Harden. He don't want to play with us, man. Let him go, man. Then I'm like, oh, come on, man. Every week, you want to take off for the kid. You want to take off and go chill.
He's not doing no taking off and going
he
chilling,
did.
bro.
No, he did do that. That's a fact.
During the pandemic?
Yeah, during the pandemic, man.
Okay, that was 3 years ago now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, man, even right now, you're finally playing the best ball you could ever play in Brooklyn. We finally thinking this might be the year we can win a championship. I want to trade. I want to trade now. But I do respect it and I get it.
In other words, you're saying that Kyrie is lead poison. He's lead poison.
Well, again,
why would you want to be there? They didn't support
now you got to ask yourself this question. If you're Brooklyn, you're the Brooklyn manager, right? You paid him for 4 years. He really only played 2.5. Are you going to give him a max contract? We don't know what Kyrie's going to show up.
But you're paying Ben Simmons $20 million a year, right?
He ain't gonna get. I guarantee you, he's not gonna finish his contract. I guarantee you, Ben Simmons won't be in New York much longer.
If you Kyrie Irving, one of the 10 best basketball players alive today, and you watching Ben Simmons getting $20 million a year, talking about, oh, I hurt my pinky, I can't play. Come on, man.
I think I could be wrong, but I think Kyrie is getting it. I think Kyrie's asking for a whole lot more.
He's asking for a whole lot more. Ben is getting it now.
Yeah, but no, I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm quite sure Kyrie makes more than Ben. I'm assuming that he does. I could be wrong. You might be right. You might be right on that. But I would say this: if I'm a general manager, man, I'm not giving that dude that money, man. I don't even know how Dallas or any of them plan on giving that money. Truthfully speaking, I think he's going to play Dallas because I think he went to. I believe that he went to Dallas and he kind of gave them a promissory note in so many ways that he's going to play this year and then I think he's telling them that he's going to resign. I doubt he resigns. I guarantee he'll be a Laker.
Yeah, but the new news that I'm hearing now is that they're trying to add other teams. So it might be a lot of other things going on, a lot of other movement.
They might probably try to spin him out to get him to the Lakers somehow, something like that.
Yeah, something.
That's really what he want to do. But again, man, I was riding with him against Harden, man. I was like, Harden's soft. He gonna go to Philly and mess that up. You know what I mean?
Hating. Just
yeah,
hating.
man. Well, you know what? I really thought Harden was at the end of his road, man. You know what I mean? That's what I really thought that, man, because he was playing a little soft, whatever case may be. But I haven't really been following Harden as much. I know
Harden is playing great basketball for the record. If he played enough games, he'd be leading the league in assists. For some reason, they saying he ain't playing enough games.
Yeah, but then again, you know, like I said with James Harden, I always had a problem with him as being a killer, really. And then I didn't like the way he did in Philly too, man. And he really dragged me a little bit more in Philly when he did the joint at the end of the season. He kind of gave up at the end of the playoff game, man. I thought that was real hard. I'm surprised I'm surprised Philadelphia let him get away with that. Philly usually hard on the chump.
You know what it was, man? He got a beard, and we were so happy to not have Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying?
This dude is a point guard that said at the end of the last game of the season, man, make the playoffs on the line. He gonna tell the team he wasn't getting the point. You're the point guard.
Yeah, but you know what though? at least he was intentional about wanting to try to do something. He wasn't the guy that got the ball underneath the basketball court and threw it to somebody else. I mean,
I'll give you. He definitely got. I mean, if you're trying to say Ben Simmons ain't got no guts, I mean, that's not hard for me to ride with that. You know what I mean? Ben Simmons might be and I hate to say it because, you know, he's a young man and, you know, nobody would say nothing negative about a young man, but as far as basketball, he might be the
softest basketball player you ever seen. But it's the thing. But the narrative is never, oh, Ben Simmons is so soft, at least nationally. Ben Simmons is so soft. Ben Simmons is a problem because he don't never want to come to work. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree, though, man. That's what all they saying on ESPN about him. Shannon Sharp kills him.
Shannon Sharp might. But you know what else? Everybody else, but he's such a great defender. He's an all-world defender. He's so great and athletic, and come on, man. He's a triple single. Draymond Green punched somebody in the face for calling him that. That's what Ben Simmons do every night. A triple single.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is horrible. I'm not going to sit here and argue that at all, man. But again, man, you know. Kyrie was my guy, man. I got a Kyrie jersey, man. I got a Kyrie jersey.
So you telling me that this has turned personal for you?
Man, I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the lack of success of New York sports, man.
I can understand that.
Said maybe I'm not objective about this.
A little bit of bias involved in all of this.
You know what I mean? They forcing me to be a Brooklyn fan. I'm really a Knicks fan. You know what I mean? But I can't do nothing with either or, man.
Yeah. Right. Just respect the history of the Knicks. That's what keeps everybody on point.
Yeah, man.
Just respect the history. All right, y'all. So we're gonna switch gears. And of course, like I said, we were off during the time of a lot of these situations that was popping up, but one in particular is the death of Tyre Nichols. All right. Now, we always end the show off by saying we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. We always say that. Huh? More relevant right now than it probably was when we were saying it about a week or two ago.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, so heavy-handed policing that resulted in his murder. I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, it looks like it was personal type of situation, but I don't know.
That's what the rumors are.
Yeah,
that was a personal situation.
It looked rather personal. So
he was the first person to say that to me, man.
Yeah.
So he told me that a long time ago.
Yeah,
he
when we saw
about a chick or something like that.
Yeah, when we saw the video, it's like the way that they ran down on him was almost like they just jumped him. It was no professionalism involved, anything. Even though, to his credit, even to the end, he was trying to be professional about it. He complied. He did whatever they told him to do. Until he realized
he had every reason not to comply.
Every reason not to. And then when it seems like when he's seen that this is nowhere near, something professional going on, that's when he kind of took flight. Yeah, he ran for his life, man. And it's no different than any one of us probably would have done in a situation like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to give you a little background on him, he's a father of a 4-year-old son. And he was known to his family as an avid skateboarder, which if you've seen a lot of his videos that, they posted up on the news that he was always skateboarding or something. And he was a nature photographer from Sacramento, California. Now, this was all according to the Associated Press. He arrived in Memphis just before the pandemic and later started a job with FedEx and a major employer there. And he had been with the company for about 9 months before his death. So he only worked on that job for 9 months before he was murdered by these, now they're saying 6 police officers, one being a Caucasian officer. So I just wanted to get y'all on here to get your thoughts on this particular situation and, just see where we at with it.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves to even call themselves police officers. I mean, not even about I ain't want to talk about the killing. I mean, that's more disgusting than anything, but I mean, it took 6 of them? They had several squad cars in order to get that little man down on the ground. It supposedly, to me personally, it looks like they were just trying to do what they was doing and act as if they played a game where, you're resisting and all that other foolishness or whatever like that. And then, initially when they initially pulled them over and pulled them out the car and then they tried to tase him and he ran away or whatever the case may be, dudes was huffing and puffing what kind of police force is this?
Well, he was just to look at him, you can tell he was probably only a buck and some change.
And
these guys collectively, and if you add the 6 gentlemen onto it, is well over 1,000 pounds just wheeling on this guy.
Yeah, they look like a football team.
And they sprayed them with mace, and then on top of that, these dummies were so stupid they sprayed their own self with mace.
Yeah. So I'm
gonna say this. It was so gruesome. I started to watch it. I couldn't take it.
I can't get.
I wasn't going to allow that imagery to damage my psyche any more than what I've already ingested. That it's completely horrible that they actually did that, and that they was the same color as us. They was the same race as us, or as that man. You know what I'm saying? It's like if at any time you're supposed to feel secure with police, you would think that black people would feel secure with black officers. And if that's not the case, then we in a world of hurt over here, because that can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
One of them clowns had the nerve to say, I hit him with several straight haymakers. You know what I mean? A defenseless man, you proud because you hit him, several times and you didn't rock him. You ought to be ashamed of yourself in that. And you double the size of that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's disgusting.
And then, to go back to what we were saying originally, and the reason why I'm not really doing a deep dive on the, giving a description of the videos, because we all seen it, a million times. And there's a lot of people who chose not to watch it just for the reasons that you're saying, J. Rob. It's like, it was just a hard thing to watch. So,
you can't get through the whole
thing. You can't get through the whole thing. But it raises a question that, you brought up before. It's knowing that these were 5 black officers who, from several accounts of the story, was saying that this so-called Scorpion Squad was sent to be heavy-handed in that community to, I guess, quote unquote, keep things in order, keep crime down and all of that, which they did have a history, according to another person who had a run-in with them, who I believe talked to Ben Crump, who said that he survived the encounter with them and that these guys are known for doing this. You know,
Amen.
Now I just want to like understand like their thoughts on how in the world would you agree to, you know, policing your own people this way in this age where we know that all of the, you know, we got a laundry list and some grocery list of people who were killed by white officers, by Caucasian officers in the same fashion, if not worse, you know, and to go to your community and kind of put this heavy-handed policing down. I mean, what is your thoughts on that?
This is why I never could join the force, man. I mean, I always felt like it was a conflict of interest, man. You know what I mean? Like just me being a black man joining the force. But on the same token, I got friends who are police officers and all that. And I know we need them.
Yeah.
We need some black, you know, we need some variety on the police force, man. But I always felt like that was my reason for not being able to be a part of something like that.
And then just to be on the other side of that fence, you have a lot of people who join just to say, like, you know, I want to stop stuff like this from happening, probably from the inside. You know, which,
yeah, but the whole system is corrupt. When you incentivize filling up prisons privately, then you go to these communities and you be heavy handed on the undesirables, which they consider to be us in the community, and it's like that's their job. That's what they're there for, and they know that going in. You don't see that heavy hand out in, let's say we out here in Delaware. You don't see a heavy hand out in Hockessin, Greenville. You know.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
But you can bet your bottom dollar, if you swerving out on one of them back blocks in Wilmington, you might get your head bust by police if they pull you over and they having a bad day.
And just for the record, I believe that Delaware, you know, speaking on where we are, it has a 0 conviction rate for police brutality.
Yeah, it don't surprise me.
0 conviction rate.
Yeah. Now, what that tells you is that they don't care, because to have a 0 conviction rate against the police.
Well, we had several cases where cops have killed people out here. I believe one of them was actually handicapped. You know, so
wow.
You know, and nothing came of it. It was didn't really make the paper, to be honest with you. But that's just a Delaware thing. But you know, it kind of spans a lot in different areas. You know, and even in listening to the press conference. Now, look, I know we on this show have given Ben Crump a lot of heat. You know, and I got to give respect where it's due. You know what I mean? During that particular. I'm sorry. All right. During that particular press conference, he did speak to the fact that these officers were fired immediately once the allegations came out, once the, you know, situation came out. However, it took them months, almost to a year or so, to convict the officers who have killed other people.
Right. Which
means that they had the capacity to kind of move forward and faster on those other situations than they did on this one.
Right,
know?
They just didn't.
No, right. It didn't.
And I think even one of his things, I think Ben Crump said on one of his press conferences that, you know, I guess the police force or, you know, whoever, you know, was a part of administering this justice finally, right, was saying that it was a clear-cut case. I'm like,
so was everything else that had yeah.
Eleanor bumpers, you know, you could just go start naming people off.
You're going back with Eleanor bumpers. Like, even if you just fast forward to all the other stuff that we got. You know, so it's just like these, and this was, you know, body cam footage on a lot of this stuff.
Right.
You know, and I often think about, you know, y'all knew the case with Gabby Pinto where the boyfriend, you know, ended up killing the girl or whatever like that. Right. And then he later was found, well, his remains were found in the woods somewhere after. Whole story, you guys can look it up. I watched the actual video of them pulling Gabby Pinto and them over prior to her death. And, you know, they said that her and the boyfriend often had arguments and stuff. And when I tell you that was the most I've seen in any of those body cam videos where the police treated someone so nicely. And these people were swerving and they were talking to them from Gabby Pinto over to the boyfriend. I mean, it was no heavy handed policing. They were just having a casual conversation.
Right. Right.
The guy is sitting on the rock. They offering him water. They don't like, it was crazy. And then turn around and this woman ended up getting killed by the same people you pulled over.
From what I understand, I think, and we got to you guys check it out. Just listen to us just to make sure. But from what I understand, I believe I heard that the 2 officers that originally pulled him over, their body cam was turned off. You know what I mean? So they came with the intentions of getting busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever the case, wherever they was about to do, they turned the body, from what I understand, they turned the body cam off. And that's why they were saying, because they tried to tell them that he was speeding or doing something crazy while driving or whatever, like that's why they pulled him over. But even the police force later on came on and said, I guess they were able to pull video footage and stuff like that. And they said that he wasn't doing anything wrong while driving.
And it leads me to believing, again, on this show, we don't want to perpetuate any rumors or speculation or anything like that.
Right.
It's just the optics of it. The optics of when you watch that video, it looked a little bit more personal than just the average traffic stop going wrong.
Well, we know, coming from the hood, we know what a beat down is.
Mm-hmm. And that
that didn't look like we trying to put your hands behind your back and arrest you or anything
at all.
That looked like we just.
They never was trying to arrest him. They just wanted to whip on him.
And I say that's the bad thing about this too, and I think this is why when they give these police these jobs, I don't care how big and tough and how black they look, muscular, whatever like that. They don't look like they have no street in them. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because we've been in situations as kids and we done jumped somebody or we've been jumped. At some point when you're kicking somebody and hitting somebody, something goes off in your mind and say, we going too far. This about to be a murder. You know what I mean? So it's usually somebody that's going to stop you within that kind of thing, even as children, to say, yo, we going too far. Like, I don't know how they kicking this man in the face. He's on the concrete, all kind of stuff like that. And nobody says like, wait a minute, hold on, this is too much.
Yeah, that's because in my opinion, this ain't the first time.
Oh yeah, that's evident. That's evident.
I'm saying you don't roll on somebody in that manner. If this the first time that you did it, you didn't. None of them seemed like they were afraid of being caught.
Well, they were told that Scorpion unit from several, news accounts. And again, we always say, look this stuff up yourself. Correct us if we're wrong. But I've watched several reports about this and read some things that said that the Scorpion unit was told to act, without.
Aggressively.
I mean, they can do it without, I guess, without impunity. Am I using the word correct? But like to just go out there and don't worry about the consequences. Don't worry about this. But it could have been a situation, and I'm just speaking from the other side of the fence on this one. Just, maybe it was a situation where they were just beating them and somebody just struck the death blow. Because if you ever watched the video, and again, I don't want to get into too many details, there was a point where one of the officers hit him with a baton, but the way that he squared up to hit him with that baton, and, just from the force of it, probably could have killed him. I mean, it's several hits that he took that could have killed him. Anytime you start getting to the realm of kicking people in their head and stomping on them and all that, you stand that chance. And I think that that's something that could have happened, is that they probably was beating them and then somebody just went too far or hit them with that,
Well, then that's what I was saying in regards to the street stuff. You know what I mean? Like when we grew up in the street, you know what I mean? We know that, there's somebody within your crew or clique that's capable of going too far. You know what I mean? So you try to keep a hold on, like even, and I'm just talking about this stuff. There's been times, when you go out and you rob somebody or something like that. You know what I mean? You don't give the nut a gun, or everybody knows that there's somebody within the clique that, he might go too far. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, I'm just using this as a thing of saying with the police. It's like, y'all got to know who y'all with. You know what I mean? Because your whole career is on the line. The whole career is on the line when you go out there. It's crazy. Not to mention, like you said before, it seems like, this is something that goes on down there, because what happens is even the EMS workers was like, it was a joke.
Yeah. And a lot of them got fired.
And the man sat on the ground for 24 minutes.
This is my thing. How come the people that's always getting beat and brutalized, for the most part, be like innocent. They ain't really did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Why you never see these cats beating these murderers and these pedophiles and these rapists?
And I thought about that too, Jay. And I said that if these guys were the type that were running up and taking on the real neighborhood drug dealers, the real kingpins, running up in there and beating them and things like that. All right, then it's like these guys are just on some training day stuff. But they attack the ones that are weaker because they know that they're weaker.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or I don't want to say weak, but the ones that they know.
Every day Joe Schmo.
I'm just going from A to B every day. You know what I mean?
Just trying to work and go home. Man.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, the young man said, he was trying to get home.
Yeah, to the point where they're whooping
calling for his mom and all that.
Calling for his mom. They're whooping him. He calling for his mom and all that.
They said he was like 70 feet away from his house or something like that.
Like
from his own house.
From his own house.
It's ridiculous.
From his own house. So, to get ready to put a bow on this thing here, man. Often they're saying about abolish police departments and all, you know what I mean, or just get rid of them, or reform. Where we stand with that? Get rid of them or reform them?
On the police side, I can't really say. But what I will say, and I believe this passionately, as a black man, you gotta think twice if you ever see them lights behind you. You gotta think twice how you gonna handle that, because the way things is going, that could be your last time you stop that car. And it's sad. It's sad that that's our reality, but you never know. And trying to be a good citizen could have you killed. So, do we need police? I don't know, because truthfully, I'm from the school that we only need police when when it's people that's hungry. And what I mean by that is they have so much less that they're forced to do crime. I don't think nobody wakes up like, yo, I'm gonna go do crime. And if they do, then you retarded people, y'all need to be locked up. But I mean, for the most part, I believe that people are inherently good natured and they want to work for theirs. They don't just want to be a cruddy criminal and take. You know what I'm saying? And that only happens when in my opinion,
yeah, right.
It only happens when, you're in a situation where you feel like your back is against the wall. Okay. And that happens a lot to us.
Yeah, you got it right, man. Because I was like, yeah, it is people working up and do crime. But I get what you're saying. It's like, circumstances that put you in that situation.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot of people who wake up and just stay with the crime.
So what's your thoughts on it, Trey? Reform or get rid of it?
Man, I think the psychological evaluation on how they bring police in, man. Like, again, I think the problem with police is most of the police that they bring in are like people who never even had a physical altercation in their life. You know what I mean? And I think what happens is when certain things happen, they do what people who ain't never been in a physical altercation does, man. They just react.
They're scared. Yeah, they're scared.
They're scared. They react. Like I told you, I always say this, and I don't know if I said this on the show before. I remember I had a friend who, their son got a job, and she lives in Delaware. Son lived in Delaware all his life, and he ended up getting a job in the police force in New York. About 3 weeks after he graduated or whatever the case may be, I just asked her, I said, how's your son doing? And she was like, oh, he quit. I was like, well, why did he quit? And he was like, because one of his friends died on the force, got shot in the line of duty in New York. I said, what did he think?
Yeah, that's part of the job.
That's part of the job. You in New York City. And that's the whole point, is like, a lot of these cats think this is like the movies. Like, they're not going to get in no physical altercation or whatever the case may be, or everybody's going to bow down and accept what you're doing. You know what I mean? It ain't like that. So I think, again, when they're hiring these people, they should not be worried about, their aptitude tests and how good they did as far as, some test scores or something like that. They should really say, yo, listen, who are you?
I mean,
what have you been into?
Now that I'm actually thinking about it, I think KRS-One told us it a long time ago. Like, the police basically was created to declare war on black people, and I mean, like,
you could date that back to slavery.
Yeah, we got to really be real with that.
That's true. Yeah.
So if they're going to stay around, the whole thing need to be overhauled. How? I don't know, but let's be real. It got to be overhauled if it's going to be stayed around, because the idea of how to police, again, is like a declaration of war on the impoverished, whether it be poor black people, poor white people, poor brown people. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
I think another thing too, man, is that they should employ people from the community. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to employ police officers, there's a lot of young black men in these cities that are not bad people. You know what I mean? They've been in the military and all the other stuff like that, and they deserve these kind of jobs, you know, if they want to take them. You know what I mean? And I think those are the type of people that should be hired. You know, they should do more hiring from the community. I think that was one of the things about reform that they were trying to bring up, is that, you know, to hire people from the community. Because I'll give an example. If somebody hires one of us and we live in the community, we might be in a situation whereas, you know, now we could talk to Mrs. Such and Such.
Yeah, we can talk to the lady at the corner, but this is the thing. Like in Philadelphia, they're hiring people from outside of the city and then putting them on the block.
Right.
Like they have no connection to this community or how to deal with the people.
Well, maybe that could be the thing, though, Jay. I mean, just again, for the people who might say when they hear this, is like, well, maybe that's why they don't hire from the community, because you know the community. So you might be more prone to let some things slide, or you might get involved in something. Depends on the person that they hire. So, you know, some people might think that. I'm just speaking as the voice of those who might be listening.
In my opinion, you will be more prone to be comfortable,
right,
and not react out of fear.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
To mention, not even just the police, not just the people in the neighborhood, the police. Because he might be able to look at you like, I'm able to, you know, like you, if you grow up in the neighborhood, you're able to look at a guy. You're like, I know that. He ain't about that life. You know what I mean?
And that's Miss So-and-so's son.
Yeah, you know. And, you know, like I said, again, you might be able to talk to, you might know who might be, you know, I hate to use these terms or whatever. You might know who his OG is, or you might know who he respects. Where you could say, yo, listen, man, talk to this dude, man. So I don't have to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Or I would even go so far as to say, like, with the youth out there today, you might be able to stop some stuff before it starts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is something positive.
And de-escalate a situation to where nobody dies.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you got, I think a lot of times you got these chumps, they get this badge and this gun and they feel empowered. So now they want to stick their chests out when you're a chump with none of that.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a chump without a badge and a gun, you're a chump with a badge and a gun.
That's it. Yeah. It didn't change nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't change anything, man. But like I said, man, and again, like that point you made earlier, I remember one time reading something where it was saying like most of the New York City police was hired from the outskirts of the city.
Mostly like Jersey.
I mean? Yeah, like Jersey. Even like I just told you, the woman that I just talked about, her son was in Delaware.
Yeah.
You know
that's crazy.
And if you're hiring these people who, I'll give an example, like coming from here in Delaware, right? I've actually took friends from Delaware to New York, black guys. You know what I mean? And when you get in New York, those same black guys that were born and raised in Delaware ain't the type of guys in New York.
Right.
So when I brought them around with my friends in New York is aggressive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when my friends from Delaware that will come to New York, they'd be like, oh, these guys are about to fight, or they're about, you know, because they hear, you know, talking back and forth, tough to each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they don't know, like, these guys love each other. And sometimes they might get in a fight.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
they're not going to go too far with it.
Yeah, if they shoot the fire, they shoot the fire, but it's respect there.
Yeah, you know. So again, it's not. I don't even think it's necessarily all a white thing. I think it's just that it's an area thing too. It got white in it. It got some, obviously some racist play in it too. But I think it's just if you from the hood in the city or Philly or, you know, California, wherever you're from, you know what I mean. It might be, you know, you might operate better as a cop than somebody from Mayberry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's a shame, again, that the criminals, the real criminals, are not the ones that's getting beaten and killed. Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't shed a tear for none of them people. But it's these innocent people or people that did a misdemeanor, and you over here getting murdered for nothing.
Yeah.
For selling cigarettes or from having some Skittles, like it's so crazy.
Yeah, and then, and to get ready to wrap this, y'all, another person we often give a lot of flack to is like Al Sharpton, and even he made a statement that I thought was kind of deep. He was saying like how in that particular area they actually fought to get black people on the police force, and then this is what happened. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't want to indict every black officer because the court of public opinion is about to do that. Because now it's like we got one now. They ain't us.
Yeah.
Until they got that 6th officer the other day. Now it's a white dude on it. It's just crazy, but nobody's focusing on that. They're going to be like, all right. And you see how long it took them to actually group him in that situation.
About him.
You know what I mean?
The one thing that Ben Crump did say that was kind of deep, man. Well, he says now you've already set a precedence. This is protocol now.
Yeah.
So now you don't gotta wait.
Away.
You gotta wait no more. And so when this comes up again, and it will, unfortunately,
it definitely will.
It will. And whether it be, black, white, whatever, this is a blue issue, good and evil. This is how I'm looking at it.
You ought to be addressed immediately.
It'll get addressed immediately.
And I think this is how it happened. I could be wrong, man, but I think you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we got to give a shout out to this kid's mom, man, because I think she kind of did like an Emmett Till thing. I think she allowed them to be able to put the video.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She kind of did something like Emmett Till's mom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it worked.
Well, initially, mom said in the press conference initially that she didn't want to watch the video, but everybody else who saw it told her. She said, "I didn't want to see it," and rightfully so. That's her baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How
rightfully
could you?
So.
I didn't want to see it either, but
you got to see it. You know what I mean? Not saying that you have, like, again, a lot of people said that they didn't want to see it for that particular reason.
Right.
You have to see it in order to combat it. That's just me. You know what I mean? And to speak out against it. So we just want to leave it right there though, because this case is still wide open, but we just thought
shout out to the mom.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to that kid. Yeah.
And my condolences and our condolences from the show to his entire family, his kid, everything like that,
Absolutely.
They took somebody's life that meant a lot to other people, callously. All right, y'all. With that being said, I guess we'll be meeting up again after this here Super Bowl. Well, maybe beforehand. I'm quite sure beforehand. But then we'll have a different conversation because your precious Eagles.
Tell Kyrie to try them shenanigans in Dallas and see what happens. They did it crazy by sending him to Dallas.
Yeah.
He in a Bible Belt.
Yeah, all right. All right, so the Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms that you stream your podcasts on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes. And don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. Also, we're on Audible, guys. I should have mentioned that before, but I didn't. That's my fault. But we are on Audible if you want to check us out there, too. Also, if you want to get in contact with us, you can get us directly on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1. Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast. And also you can email us at theonlyonemic00@gmail.com. And there you can leave your comments. Guys, thanks again, my brothers, for another great conversation. Appreciate you.
All right. People here like to surround that Mavericks Center and see what happens.
It won't happen. We thank you again for your time and encourage you to speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please keep in mind that we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Please. Peace.
Peace.